Namaste. Happy greetings to everybody. Welcome to all our brothers and sisters, the new seekers, to our Heartfulness community channel, through which all of us get together weekly to understand the teachings of the great elders of the Heartfulness way, our great guides. Through their teachings, our understanding comes to maturity, and that maturity will allow us to practice with dedication. For the past couple of weeks, we've been trying to understand some of the Yoga Sutras of sage Patanjali in relationship to the heartfulness practice. Because heartfulness method, the technique, the pranahuti is a complete package which is designed to bring a human being to that state of perfect balance if one dedicatedly practices it. But it has been made so simple, some of us have almost not paid attention to its greatness. When rich children are born into rich families, they don't value the riches because they've been given it. So also, all of us who has been in the heartfulness method, benefiting from the transmission and the spiritual work that is being done on each individual on their chakras to bring them to that state of silence and peace, we didn't realize the value. Personally, I did not realize the value of it until I started to study the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And then I was in a state of amazement and gratitude towards my Guru, increased in multifold. So let us understand the value of heartfulness method through sage Patanjali's techniques that he has given long time ago, which Babaji Maharaj and all our great masters have simplified it in such a way that ordinary people who have no knowledge of anything, who have no knowledge of any Sanskrit, who don't understand Vedas or Upanishads or the Yoga Sutras, Vedanta, but yet simply can practice this method given by the heartfulness guides and the transmission emanating from the living guide, how much it empowers a being where the knowledge itself, the highest knowledge, descends in an individual heart with the heartfulness meditation. That is the beauty of heartfulness meditation. And today we will pursue further in this few more sutras, trying to understand. The very first sutra of sage Patanjali, he talks about being yoga is about here and now. That is what Babaji's call is, here and now. In this now, if the mind is able to come to the state of silence and become standstill, and that mind that is so clear is able to reflect reality in itself, and in that reflection, once this mind completely becomes identical and merged, it arrives at that state of absolute samadhi. And that kind of mind, which is a meditative mind, which the sage describes as Dhyanaja Chitta. Chitta, which has thought, mind, heart, and consciousness. When all these four comes to a state of meditative state, then true samadhi, which is the absolute balance akin to the ultimate samadhi, ultimate, happens in the being. And that kind of mind can accomplish anything. And that is the mastermind, which is connected to the master self. And that is why they're called masters. And in heartfulness method, the call of the masters is we do not create disciples, we create masters. Each individual can arrive at that state of mastery when their mind comes to this state of, when their mind becomes meditative mind. So let us now explore a couple of sutras to understand the depth of the heartfulness. So Dhyanaja Chitta, the meditative mind leading to Samadhi, that is to absolute balance. So in the very first sutras, the first one is Atah Yoga Anushasanam, here and now, the discipline of yoga. The second Yoga Sutra is Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the state of being in which the ideational choice making movement of the mind slows down and it comes to a stop. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Then, that is, when the movement of the mind comes to a stop, the seer gets established in his existential identity. Only when the mind comes to a stop, the seer, the true self, gets established, the self gets established in its true self. Vritti sarupya, vritti sarupyam itaratra. At other times, itaratra means the other times, the seer identifies himself with the fluctuation consciousness, because our consciousness, because of the activity of the mind, is affected and it's fluctuating. So the first Yoga Sutra, Atah Yoga Anushashanam, and now the discipline of yoga, it is when one finds oneself in such a state of not knowingness. So the meaning of true yoga is when you find yourself in a state of not knowingness. And what is this state of not knowingness? In which the past is meaningless and the future is unknown. So you have let go. The famous statement of Daji as well as Sage Patanjali, let go of everything. This state, the past is meaningless, you let go of it. And the future is unknown. But in the now, your mind is absorbed in the Brahman. The one that one can maintain a watchful state of attention necessary to learn the new. At every moment, here and now, you are waiting like a bird with wonder for divinity to descend into you. And that is yoga. And that is the discipline of the state of yoga, which is indicated by the word atah. State of atah is when one finds oneself in a state of disillusionment and one thus comes to a state of not knowing. Neti, 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 you go to that state of absolute thumb, which is ignorance, not knowing. You must be in the now to really learn the yoga, which is a new beginning. So the very first step why we are meditating is to learn to be in the now. You learn to let go, you are in the now. Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. This we studied thoroughly in one of these sessions. Yoga is that state of being in which the ideational choice making movement of the mind slows down and comes to a stop. The fluctuating mind, which is involved in the outside, it slows down by diverting its attention to in, and gradually it slows down and come to that state of silence and stillness. It is the mind, chitta, conditioned by the past and structured with built-in likes and dislikes, that wavers when confronted with a new situation. So, a mind conditioned by our impressions, samskaras, is what creates these likes and dislikes and makes our mind waver and affect our consciousness. So, it is this wavering of the mind that triggers ideation, which refers to likes and dislikes. And this ideational choice making tendency that indulges with likes and dislike, constituting the choice making activity of the mind. So, freedom from the past means freedom from ideational choice making. In ideation means it's a process where you generate ideas and solutions through sessions such as sketching, prototyping, brainstorming, brain writing, and a wealth of other ideation techniques. That is why you come to this choiceless state of being where the mind does not support the vrittis. So yoga says, cease to choose and see what happens. Surrender and what happens. The third statement is tadah drashtu swarupe avasthanam. That is, when the moment of the mind comes to a stop, the seer, the seer is the self, gets established in his existential identity. Then the seer, the self, abides in his own nature. So through meditation, the self, which was identifying itself with the external, withdraws and identifies itself with the pure self and abides in it in silence, in stillness. So the reality can reflect itself in it, and with mergence, this self becomes one with it. So you are not your body or mind, you are the seer, watching your mind and body at work in front of you. So you are first an observer, moving to that witnesshood. Yoga expands the space between you and everything else in the physical world, including thoughts and emotions. You witness and are aware of the actions of your body and mind, but are at the same time uninvolved and separate from them. So, in this witnesshood, you watch, you observe, you see people, but you don't get involved in it. The mind doesn't get involved in it. The mind does not support that. It just observes, withdraws, and becomes the true seer. The seer, your true self, is what is behind everything else that exists. If you look into a lake to see your reflection and the lake is choppy, your image will appear distorted. In reality, your image hasn't changed. In the reflection, you're seeing it's all choppy, but your image has not changed. It merely appears to be different. Only when the water is completely still, you can see the truest reflection of yourself. The same is true with your mind and the self. Only when the mind is clear and free from modifications can you see your truest self. This self, the one who sees all else, is always the same. The divine is always the same. It is everything around us that causes a distortion in our perception of ourselves. The seer just is no matter what it is. It lives inside itself, is one with itself, and attached to nothing else. The self is not defined or bound by anything superficial or on the outside. Vritti sarupyam itaratra. At other times, that is when the mind is not in that meditative state, at other times, the seer identifies itself with the fluctuating consciousness. You are looking at the choppiness and thinking that's you. Interpretation of this sutra is a person's perception of events, life, etc., becomes their reality. An example is reading a sad story or book and feeling melancholy afterwards or even depressed. People see movies, sad movies, and sit there and cry. They know it is not reality. And sometimes they discuss it so deeply these characters, these serials. And when you somebody hears from outside, they think that it's really a reality that they're going through, but it is just a reflection. I think the sutra is relating to events beyond just being empathetic to another person's plight, but more extreme changes. When the division between surroundings and individuals cease to exist, the individual takes on the mindset and begins to change behavior conforming to their current environment. So, what is a conditional mind and what is a meditative mind? When identified with ideational choices, that is, external world, man finds himself trapped in tensions, conflicts, chaos, and misery. So, when you're looking at yourself in the chopped consciousness and you think that's you, you are disturbed, you are suffering. And that is called Pratyajaya Chitta, that is conditional mind. Pratyajaya Chitta. The mind, born of the impressions of accumulated experiences of the past, is known as Pratyajaya Chitta or conditional mind. Dhyanaja Chitta, this is what our goal is, meditative mind. The mind born of yogic meditation, which is free of the domination of the past or the known, is called Dhyanaja Chitta, meditative mind. So, what is meditation? Attention to what is in the living present, here and now, offers the only way out of the predicament of man. The first state of being of meditation is here and now. And meditation brings about the death of the conditioned mind and the birth of the meditative mind. And this newly born mind, the Dhyanaja Chitta, is free from temporality. This mind does not move in the past or the future, it is in the now. It only reflects the existential situation. Reality is that which remains one and the same throughout all changes. So that is why God is the reality. It doesn't change. The new mind gets colored by this reality. So when we are focused on the reality, our mind gets colored by the reality. This new mind, the Dhyanaja Chitta, which is clear, calm, and unmoving, it reflects the seer on one side and the seen on the other side. This new mind, the Dhyanaja Chitta, in this state is the existence of man. It is in a pure seeing awareness, moves with total freedom in harmony with the subtle and the unseen movement of the cosmic being. So, this state arrives when we cross the heart region, where the mind, after acquiring the qualities of every chakra by mastering it, and now comes to this state of pure awareness and acquires discrimination, viveka, and is able to be in that still state. Now the cosmic movement is in this state of being. In this state of being, existential movement, the three gunas, Sat, Rajas, and Tamas, which are our frequencies, constitute the scene, offer their services to the seer for ever new creation. And this creative energy is called Siti Sekti. This Chiti Sekti is the creative energy of life, where pure seeing awareness, operating from the Dhyanaja Chitta, meets the energies of the seen or the objective world and explodes into ever new creation. Reality is this ever radiant creativity, and that is the mastermind which can create anything. In one of the sutras, the sage talks about Ishvara Parinidanava through reverential godly awareness. When we are remembering the ultimate, the Brahman, the divine, the great master's consciousness, you have to do it with utmost reverence. Through reverential godly awareness, from a special process of devotion. When will reverence happen? When you have devotion. So, from a special process of devotion and letting go into that creative source from which we emerged, the coming of samadhi is imminent. So, to arrive at that state of absolute balance, our state of being has to be filled with reverential godly awareness, with intense devotion. So, the meaning of Ishvara is creative source, pure conscious, Purusha, God, Supreme Guru, or teacher. So this is how Sage Patanjali is explaining it. Pranidhana is practicing the presence, sincerity, dedication, devotion, surrender of fruits of practice. So, through the sincere, dedicated, and devoted practice towards that pure consciousness, the ultimate, known by words as Purusha, God, or Guru, which is symbolized by the Om, the silence, the results of Samadhi come more quickly. So you are able to arrive at that state of absolute balance by sincere, dedicated practice towards that ultimate consciousness of the guide, which is nothing but utter stillness and silence and of the mind. That will lead you to that absolute balance. In other words, the practice of following Om, which is silence, through the levels of reality and consciousness is a shortcut of sorts, meaning direct route to the center of consciousness. That is why we do not take any form in meditation. We just have a supposition, an idea that the divine light is present in my heart and my mind is resting, and you are simply letting go and traversing yourself into that silence. Parama, Anu, Parama, Mahatva, and Antah Asya Vashikaraha. The power of the study mind, the meditative mind that is study. What is its power? The sweep of the study mind ranges from infinitely small particles to infinitely great skies. When the mind develops the power of becoming stable with meditation on the smallest object as well as on the largest, then the mind truly comes under control. Now, the mind, you have become the master of your mind. And that mastered mind is a tool of the human being. When the mind is under control, which is known as Vashikaraha, then that mind can be used as an instrument to explore the subtler components of the mind field, including the samskaras themselves. When we are able to master the mind, we're able to let go of the impressions. When a negative thought comes, we are simply submitting at the feet of the guide. This is Pushpam Samarpayami, in Hinduism. They go to the temple. They give, I submit the flower at your feet. I submit the coconut at your feet. I submit the leaf at your feet. And Lord Krishna says, whatever way you worship is fine. You give a flower or. But we have forgotten. Babuji was great enough. He says, if you have a fault in you, think it is your gurus. He gave a total twist to this Samarpayami, submit. Even our flaws, we just submit to the masters and say, I'm struggling with it. This is what I am at this moment. I submit this at your lotus feet because I can only give you what I have. If I have flower, I can give you flower. If I have a fruit, I can give you fruit. But I am struggling with these impurities, and at this moment, this is all I can give you. I submit that. So, when the mind is in control, under control, the mind can be used as an instrument. That's what we're doing. You're using the mind as an instrument to get rid of yourself, all these negative things that are burdening you. It can be used as an instrument to explore the subtler components of the mind field, including the samskaras themselves, which are the deep impressions driving the karma. And this control, this ability to focus on the smallest or largest, is not the goal in itself. It is not a matter that some power has come that inherently means you have attained some final goal. Rather, it is a clear evidence of having trained the instrument of mind. So, what is this power? Is you are a trained instrument. There's a difference between a regular person and a military person who has worked hard with his fitness of his body. They are fit. So, also with meditation, your mind is a fit instrument. Then that mind is used as a tool in ways unimaginable previously. The mind of the yogi, full of this power, does not again stand in need of the mental embellishment due to habitual practice. So, what is the culmination? It is what it is. The persistence of practice is when the seer, who has the awareness of pure seeing, truly comes to a state of disentanglement, vairagya. So, with the practice of meditation, when we are able to divert the thought from the external world into the heart silence with the help of the prana, the flow of the thought, the dhara, is helped by the dhara of the prana, allowing us the prana to flow freely in every chakra. And as we get rid of every entanglement at every chakra, the prana starts to flow freely. And then you come to this awareness of pure seeing, pure discrimination. So, true union happens. It is in which a choice making mind, the chitta that consists of the thought, the mind, the heart, and the consciousness. The entire all spectrum of all of this needs to come to a standstill by thorough practice of meditation. And now it remains in a state of surrender, a choiceless awareness of it is what it is. Today I am struggling. Today my body is suffering. I accept. This day is happening according to thy will, and I am flowing through this day. I accept everything with love, joy, and gratitude. I am nothing, you are everything. And this is the true beginning of surrender. And then the cosmic journey begins in each individual. So, true union is in which a choice making mind comes to a standstill and remains in a choiceless awareness of it is what it is. And this is the true beginning of surrender, which the sage talks about. Chitta vritti nirodha. Where, how do you arrive at it? Abhyasa vairagya, practice that leads to discriminative state. And that mind that has practiced and arrived at this state of pure seeing, where total disentanglement, vairagya, viveka happens. In that state, the mind is in a state of being of surrender, knowing who the mother is, and now the journey of the seeker begins. And this is what these sutras is about. So this is some brief understanding of couple of the sutras. Let us all now meditate. Close your eyes softly. Take a deep breath and let go. Feel grounded to the earth. Feel the healing energy from Mother Earth enter into your being. And begin with relaxing your toes. Feel the energy flow into your feet, ankles, and your legs. Be aware of your legs. Relax your legs. Take another deep breath and let go. Feel the energy flow into your knees, into your thighs, into your hips. Feel firmly grounded in the seat. Feel the free flow of energy flowing there, relaxing you. Take another deep breath and let go gently. Feel the energy flow into your lower back. Relax your lower back. Relax your upper back. Keeping your spine erect. Bring your awareness to your stomach muscles. Feel the energy flow there. Take a deep breath and let go gently. Feel the energy flow into your chest. Relax your chest. Bring your awareness to your fingers. Feeling the energy, relax your fingers, palm, wrists, lower arms, elbows, and upper arms. Feel the free flow of energy flowing in your hands, relaxing your hands. Take another deep breath and let go gently. Your hands are completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to your shoulders. Feel the stress melting away. Relax your shoulders. Consciously relax your neck, jaws, facial muscles. Deeply relax your eyes, eyebrows, temples, and forehead. Feel your brain is resting. Your mind is calm. Your body is completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to your heart. Feel your heart. Enter your sacred space. Bring yourself to a state of humbleness in prayer, where the heart beats. Remind yourself with the intention. The source of light is present within you. The light from the source is illuminating your entire being. Your mind is drawn to this light. Your mind is resting in the light. The ocean of light. The ocean of love is in you. You are a drop submerged in this ocean. Rest in the light with utmost reverence. Let's meditate. That's all. Feel the calmness spread throughout your being. From this place of calmness, make the intention. All my senses are in a state of balance. They have arrived at their original character. All my feelings are in silence. All the chakras in my system are in a state of balance. They are in harmony with each other. Every cell in my being is imbued with the feeling of love and gratitude. Every cell in my being is absorbing the silence. Feel the calmness spread throughout your being. You may open your eyes when you are ready. Thank you all for joining the session today, and thank you for supporting the Heartfulness community channel. We are very happy that you could all be here together to learn and to grow. Thank you, and see you guys later. Bye now.